So today we'll be chatting to Sarika Modi, founder of 888, a socially conscious agency which aims to create campaigns that change the way corporate companies impact the planet in a positive way. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, Sarika Modi is a qualified actuary and a member of the Actuarial Society of South Africa. Her career is just as impressive, having held positions at some of our country's corporate leaders in asset management. She then started her own agency, 888, which creates inspiring corporate social responsibility campaigns, which have won awards and impacted the world in a really meaningful way. Welcome to The Loft.
Thanks,
so lovely to have you here.
Jeannie. Thank you.
Can we just discuss, I mean, what that must have taken to become an actuarial scientist? Because I think it's like lower than a 3% pass rate, and you've got to be a genius in order to do that, really.
Well, that's what they say. It was quite challenging. I studied very hard. I studied sometimes 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
But it felt really amazing to have actually passed and gotten through those board exams.
Well done. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
You're probably the smartest person I've ever met. Now, you worked for so many amazing companies and so many big companies. When did you realize that these companies could do more in terms of good?
Well, I started my career as an investment manager, and I started working with a lot of big infrastructure development projects. I visited some of those projects and started to see that not only were they producing a really good investment return, but they were also having a really big social impact, having a really incredible impact directly on the communities around them. And that really got me excited. I started researching a lot more, reading about it, educating myself on the subject. Eventually, I started talking to clients about what we call socially responsible investing, which is investing to create a social impact. To the point that one of my clients one day made a 2 billion rand investment into the motor vehicle sector, which resulted in us saving 60,000 jobs. And at that point, I realized that there was an opportunity for doing good business in a way that really makes sense. So I decided to leave corporate, and that's when I started 888.
Okay, why the name 888, firstly?
Well, 888 really refers to triple bottom line, which is a type of corporate social guideline. It talks about having a positive impact on people, planet, and profits.
That's amazing.
And the 8 really represents some of the values that the organization stands for and some of the areas in which we impact.
And it's obviously taken off. Congratulations. But what would you say are your greatest achievements with 888 thus far?
We won the USAID Award for Excellence in Health Communication in Africa last year, which is quite a big international award, and we were up against some really big contenders. Wow. So we were really pleased with that. We work for some of the leading brands in the world, which we feel very proud about because they obviously trust us and believe in what we are able to do. We've produced about 38 CSR programs to date, and we estimate that we've had an impact on about 26 million people through Southern Africa.
Incredible.
So there are 26 million beneficiaries that we have counted to date.
Amazing. I think they've made it law now in India that 5%, well, but for big companies, 5% of what they make have to go towards CSR projects. How supportive is South Africa within that regard?
Well, that's correct. India has actually built that into the Companies Act. But South Africa is doing incredible work in terms of corporate social responsibility. I mean, if you look at many of the big company websites, you'll see that CSR is actually a norm. And this is largely because of our really strong corporate governance framework, which talks about triple bottom line and the impact that companies are having on people, planet, and profits. And I think also credit needs to go to our BBBE codes. Those codes talk quite a lot about companies having a good impact on communities. And as a result, you'll see that there's a tremendous amount of work that's been done, a lot of really positive work in the country.
Now, I think we live in a really media-hungry time at the moment. Do you think that this is being used for positive change?
I do. I think that we, as I said, you know, CSR has really become a norm in South Africa to the extent that companies that are not engaged in good corporate social responsibility really risk negative PR. So the converse is really true. But I think that this is also where consumers have a really important role to play. They should be rewarding companies that do positive social, social responsibility, and possibly penalising those that don't. They should really be using the power in their pockets.
So then it goes to say that you think that global brands do have a responsibility to CSR and to give back.
Absolutely they do. And, particularly in areas like, environmental issues and the health of our planet. I think that there's so much that companies need to take responsibility for in terms of cleaning up. And this is really where consumers should be driving things a lot strongly and using the power that they have to encourage better corporate social responsibility.
So if you have to envision where you want the world to be in 10 years' time, what would you want it to look like?
I would really love for brands and companies to be known not just for the products they produce or the services that they sell, but really importantly, I'd like them to also be recognised and known for the greater good that they can create in the world. So I'd love to see a soap brand being known for saving lives because of the hygiene education that they do, or perhaps an insurance company being known not just for insurance, but maybe for creating millions of sustainable livelihoods in the townships. I'd also love to see companies, governments and communities working together a lot closer to make all the goals that we have in this country a reality.
Well, you are certainly such an inspiration. Thank you so much for chatting to us and for all of the good work that you do. Now, Five Roses certainly salutes exceptional women like Sarika who are committed to changing the world through their inspiring ideas and dedication. Now, we're giving away a fabulous Five Roses gift pack containing an assortment of their delicious teas. So to stand a chance to win, simply SMS the keyword Five Roses and your name to 33650. SMSs are charged at R1.50 and T's and C's to apply. So visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for details. Join us again this time next week when we will be chatting to yet another exceptional South African woman. And until then, remember that nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.